I mean, you never want to lose, but I think we believe in the process and believe in, and I know it sounds like cliche, but when we come in a day after a game, we handle the wins and the losses the same way. And there's learning experiences. There's things that we need to get to where we ultimately want to get to. There's things that we have to go through, and regardless of whether we came away with a victory or not yesterday, today was going to feel the same way. Don't get me wrong, wouldn't have felt the same way, but the the going through the changes and what needs improvement and corrections and everything like that, that was going to be handled the exact same. And so, was there some positives from yesterday? Yes. Again, I speak to the character and us being able to execute in a 2-minute drill and be able to do some of those things, but it didn't need to get to that point, right? And we had enough opportunities in the first half and the beginning of the second to not let it get to that. And so there's a lot that we can improve on. But you do learn a lot about, you don't really learn, you just continue to prove the character of our guys. And we can take that. But, our guys, there's not moral victories. Our guys want to win football games with competitors, and they understand that.
I totally get that, but I mean, knowing that you can almost, well, you came just that close from coming back from a 17-point deficit. There's got to be something to that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, the reality is we're not in the profession of coming up close, right? Like we don't want to come up close. We got to find ways to finish it and get it done. And that starts with me, right? Like I got to make sure that Josh Allen gets the ball back with 3 timeouts. And so, we're always going to point the thumb at ourselves, right? We're always going to make sure, hey, what can I do better? I can't just making sure I'm pointing the fingers and saying, hey guys, we got to do this. We got to do this. It's always going to start with me. And there's the positives. Yes, there's positives. There's positives. The guys knowing that as long as there's time on the scoreboard, we have an opportunity to win. And our guys believe in that. And, being up in the sideline, looking down, our guys didn't blink. There's still energy. You see when you're scoring down 17, like it's important to the guys. And you learn a lot about, we have to go through some of these games, and I don't want to go through it, but anybody can handle success. And it's easy to show your character when you're winning, but when you're losing, how does your character show? And so I didn't learn that about our guys. I kind of knew that about our guys, but they had an opportunity to kind of prove who we were. And it shows that, their resilience, but and that's going to come up at some point the rest of the way. And so, but I would much rather not let it get to that point.
I get that. And one last thing, Dan Campbell just spoke, and I was quoted a quote. He says, as from what he's seen from afar of Josh, I feel he's a more patient player. And he's playing at a very high level that makes him even more dangerous. How much is he dead on?
Usually Dan's dead on, right? I shared a room with Dan for 1 year in New Orleans, and so Dan's as good as it gets, and he sees football in an incredible way. And yeah, I mean, I think I wouldn't say that's the only thing, but I think the way that you see kind of Josh playing and understanding, and there's a lot of plays he made out there yesterday that there's not a lot of people on the planet that can make, right? But I do think that his confidence and trust in the 10 other guys around him, and the confidence and the mastery of the system is allowing him to play with that patience.
Thanks, Joe.
Hey, Joe, I know it's very, very early and just coming back off this game, obviously with the flight and everything, but looking ahead to the Lions, have you gotten to start looking at their defense? And obviously you said Dan Campbell a little bit. Like, what are you looking ahead to with this matchup on Sunday?
Yeah, it is really early, right? We're still kind of making sure that we put our last game to rest, and making sure that we take all our notes and we clean everything up before we go on. And so a lot of our coaches have naturally kind of got going on it, but I'm making sure that I'm kind of set before I move on. So I've gotten a little bit going. Obviously, like I said, I was with Dan Campbell, was with Aaron Glenn, in New Orleans, and know what kind of coaches they are. And there's no surprise at the success that they're having. And it's a great team, great defense. It's going to be a great opportunity for us, and an incredible environment. And so it's going to be a great opportunity.
Just curious, just to follow up on that, with what you know about Dan Campbell, like what kind of coach is he? Is it his success he's had as a head coach at all surprising to you, like to see what they've been able to do?
Not at all. Not at all. He's as real as it gets. Everything you see from him, he's authentic, and he is himself. And I learned so much from him being with him for a year. I was with him for 2 years, but sat in the room with him with the tight ends for 1 year. And he's an incredible coach, incredible teacher. No shock in the world to see the success he's had there.
Thanks, Joe.
Hey Joe, and just John Worrell again. I'm just on Dan Campbell. It's like you roomed with him. What was that like? And how did you stop from running through walls for that guy? Just given how what we know about him or what we see about him.
When you're with Dan Campbell, you really don't until you're wearing a different logo, right? So it's no, he was a great, I didn't know much about the tight end game until I'm sitting in the room with him, an incredible teacher, and the utmost respect for him. And I love seeing the success that he's having. And obviously, this week, none of that matters, right? We're both trying to go at each other, and but just a ton of respect for him and who he is, and the type of coach he is.